So the other day, this came in the mail. This is a Tactacam FTS, a device that allows me to film through my rifle scope. And that's the camera angle that I've always really wanted to show on this channel. I want to be able to show you a target or a deer in a crosshairs. Now up until this point, I've been using this on my deer rifle. This is a Tactacam camera and it clamps onto the side of my scope. It's a great little camera, but the main disadvantage of it is that it does not have an optical zoom, just a small digital zoom. So if I'm shooting at a target that's over 100 yards away, I'll need to go and zoom and edit the footage itself to the point where it turns out pretty grainy. So what the FTS does is that it connects this camera to the rifle scope so it films through it instead of alongside it. And this provides a clear zoomed in sight picture. Now you can buy an FTS unit that comes with the latest and greatest Tactacam camera, or you can just buy the FTS unit itself. Since I already have a camera, I just bought the FTS. My camera is a couple models behind the latest one, but it still shoots a nice picture. And no, I'm not sponsored by Tactacam or anything like that. I'm just showing off my new toy. So what I'm going to do is show you the unboxing of this FTS attachment, and then I'm going to show you how to install it on your rifle. Okay, so here's the box here. So we got some tape. Alright. So thank you and welcome to the Tactacam family. Okay, and right here we have the FTS unit, and a screw, which I assume is going to be important, so we'll set that off to the side here. See if there's anything else in the bottom. It's rattling. There's something in there. Okay, so these are rings. And a hex key and a back for the Tactacam camera. Basically one of these. Okay, so if you're using a camera with a 4 locking cap, please replace with the one provided. I'm not sure if mine's a 4 locking or a 6. I know there's a couple of different ones out there. So yes, I have a 4 locking cap, so I need to replace it with the one that's been provided. So now that we have all this open, I'm going to show you how to put it on your rifle. Alright, now we will move on with the setup portion of this video. So on the table here we have everything that came in the box. We have the Tactacam FTS unit itself. We have the rings over here. I didn't know this when I opened up the box, but these are spacer rings that fit the FTS unit to your scope. And lastly, we have 3 screws and the Allen wrench. I know that when I opened the box up there was 1 screw, but it turns out that there were 2 more screwed into the FTS unit. You will need to loosen or remove them before you begin. I will be demonstrating on my deer rifle right here. This is my Remington 7600. It's chambered for 30-06. Now before you can install the Tactacam FTS unit to your scope, it's important to remember that the FTS turns your scope into an extension of the Tactacam camera. The image that camera records needs to pass through several clear surfaces before it can be recorded. You need to make sure that those surfaces are clean. Any smudge or fingerprint is going to be very visible in your footage. There are actually 5 surfaces that you need to clean. There's the front and the back of your scope, right? 2 glass surfaces on the inside of the FTS unit itself, and then there's the front of your Tactacam. So when you have everything clean, you'll need to find the correct spacer ring that goes with your scope. 7 spacer rings came in that box, and you will only need 1 of them. I've already found that the number 2 ring fits my scope best. Slide it over the eyepiece of the scope with the lip of the ring facing forward and the space or notch facing down. Next, slide the Tactacam FTS over the spacer ring. It's designed to accommodate both right and left-handed shooters. So if you shoot right-handed, set it up so that the camera is on the right side and vice versa. Slide it up only to the lip of the spacer ring and don't push any further. You don't want that scope to come in contact with the glass you just cleaned inside the FTS. Then use the 2 screws and Allen wrench provided to tighten it into place. If the FTS does not fit snugly over that spacer ring or does not tighten down properly, then you'll need to select a different spacer ring. So the Tactacam camera attaches on the other side of the FTS unit, much the same way the scope did. Just slide it in and tighten with the last screw. So that's how you install the Tactacam FTS to your scope. When you're finished, it should look something like this. But don't run off yet, we are far from being done. Your FTS actually needs to be focused to your scope. And this is one of the most important steps because the difference it will make in your footage is between this and this. So focusing the Tactacam FTS to your scope is done by adjusting your scope's eye relief. On my scope, this is done by turning the eyepiece of the scope itself. You'll need to adjust the eye relief until the picture that the Tactacam camera records is sharp. Now if your Tactacam is Wi-Fi enabled, this is pretty easy to do. You can connect the camera to your phone and then see a live image through your camera. Then adjust the eye relief real time until you're satisfied. Unfortunately, I am not able to demonstrate this for you because my Tactacam is not Wi-Fi enabled. The model of my camera is too old. So I did something a little different. I had to take some footage, view it, adjust the eye relief, take some more footage, adjust again, etc., until I was satisfied with what I had. It was a longer process for me, but it needed to be done. Alright, so now you've installed the Tactacam FTS to your scope and focused it to your camera. You've probably noticed by now that your shooting eye will now be several inches closer to the eyepiece of the FTS than it originally was to your scope. So if you're installing this on any rifle that has a notable amount of recoil, such as mine, you really need to take this into consideration. If it's too close for comfort, you may want to move your scope forward a bit to offset that extra room that the FTS needs. Whatever you do, I suggest wearing safety glasses the first time you shoot with the FTS on the gun, just in case. Scope eye is a nasty thing. So that is all I have for you today. I really hope this helps someone out there. For those of you that are interested, when I sight my rifle in this year, I will be filming with the FTS and I'll post a link to that in this video. Thank you so much for watching though. Please like, comment, subscribe, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.